Clark Kent. You're in Smallville.
I mean, the first one that comes to mind for me is in the pilot when Clark opens up the door and he says, I'm Clark Kent and you're in Smallville.
The essence of Smallville was always to explore Clark Kent before Superman.
Mm-hmm. It was very difficult for us to stick to the core idea of this show about Clark Kent before he became Superman.
A farm boy? I don't think so. I have big plans for this Clark Kent. With my mind and your body, the sky's the limit, Clark. Clark Kent. Clark Kent?
Hey guys, I'm Tom Welling. I used to play Clark Kent on Smallville.
Clark Kent. I know. The world needs to believe that Clark Kent is way too normal to ever be.
And on Smallville, it was Clark becoming Superman. You know, I was quite familiar with Clark Kent, but...
Clark Kent will be the mask. I'm Clark Kent. Clark Kent, Daily Planet. Clark Kent. I'm sorry. I work for the Daily Planet. Well, Clark Kent. It's just a name. Clark Luthor. He did this.
In the 50s, there was a guy named Clark Hoffman. Your name Clark Hoffman mean anything to you?
The Clark Kent you know is a lie. I told you there is no Clark Kent. Clark Kent is dead. Clark Kent is dead.
And Clark realizes that he's got to change some things about himself if he's going to continue to grow.
It's a perfect time for it to happen for Clark.
All you have to ask yourself is, who's more responsible than Clark Kent?
You've heard me say this before that I never played Superman. I played Clark Kent.
Yes.
And then,
maybe that turned into the Clark thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm Clark Kent. I played for the Smallville Crows.
and I think anybody who likes Smallville and anybody who likes Clark.
My name is Clark Kent. My name is Clark Kent.
So I had like a pencil that I was able to take from Clark's desk.
Oh my God.
I'm Clark Kent. I'm Clark. Mr. Hall, I'm Clark Kent.
And what we did with Clark is Clark wasn't going to be a guy who would take his shirt off, if you know what I mean, unless it the action made it happen.
Early on, there were some scenes where Clark didn't have his shirt on, and I remember having very constructive conversations being like, well, why is his shirt off? And then being like, well, he just woke up. And I'm like, I don't think Clark sleeps naked. I think he sleeps with it.
Isn't it strange that Clark's watch is able to keep time even when he super speeds? When I was watching this episode, my wife comes in and she's watching it and she always gets a kick out of seeing me so young. And Clark runs in and grabs up the blanket and puts it on the bomb. I go, that's a lead blanket. And she goes, yeah, I know. He just came from the X-ray. Duh. Yeah, and also, very simply, Clark started to play football, and now there's talk about cars, and there's talk about anything he needs. It's like, what? I was just talking about playing football. So it's, yeah, suspicious.
Never